I call the August 4th Committee of the Whole meeting of the Glencoe Park District to order. Lisa, please call the roll and note the time.
It is 7:01 p.m. and President Kobe,
Here.
Commissioner Cummins,
Here.
Commissioner Guzman is on her way, Commissioner Hazen, and Commissioner Reifman.
Here.
Okay. We do not have anyone from the public here, so we will skip the matters from the public. That's correct. No one here. Let's jump right into Director Cruz's discussion on Friends Park and community feedback.
Thank you, President Kobe. So we do have Michelle Kelly again joining us tonight from Upland. She's remote through our big screen up there. So we had the community input and community survey closed a week ago Sunday, and Michelle's going to review what the results of the surveys were, as well as the recommended concepts based on those results, and then certainly open it up to the board for discussion, recommendations, tweaks, changes, and then ultimately looking for consensus with a plan to move forward for our OSLAD grant submission. So Michelle, I'll kick it over to you. And I think if everyone could just make sure to go through your microphone so Michelle can hear us clearly.
Yeah, make sure your microphones are turned on. Okay. Yep.
Thank you,
turned on.
Kyle.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, fabulous. So we're going to go through survey results from our community input, some recommendations based on those, and the concept plan updates. So just as a quick reminder, this is concept A, which you saw at the last meeting that I attended, and looks really similar. And then this is the 3D image of the play equipment that was on that. And then here is concept B. We made one change after the board meeting, adding this piece here, which I'll show you. That's this climber. Everyone liked that. We had a bigger climber and there was a lot of discussion about that. And so we went back and made an adjustment before it went to the public. And I think you'll see that maybe was the thing that changed it, who knows? But concept B was our winner with 274 votes. 139 went to A, so still lots of good things in A. Overall, we had 18 paper surveys and 422 online surveys. So this is all of that together.
Very good input.
Yeah, it was great. So that was the overall. And then, of course, we kind of dive deeper and let people pick their favorite things out of each concept. And so concept B with the 2 to 5 play structure also won at 247 votes. And then concept B with the 5 to 12 play structure, it was a little bit closer, but still concept B won with 231 votes. So let's go to a few of the other fun things that people got to vote on. The teen area seating, so we had kind of the fun art painted seats. And then the more, I don't know, casual fun seats here. Yeah, the vote is pretty funny.
It was fun.
And I think the board is the one who said, like, put these in. So good job, board. And then our bamboo jungle won over the agility climbers with 280 votes. So there we go. So those, we'd like to recommend those obviously be in the final. But our wave shelter won over the leaf shade structures. And so this provides about 20 by 40 feet of shade. So it's a nice shade area. One thing though, we did get some feedback on the pergola style. The IDNR will not count a pergola style or a punch metal style as a shelter. So we can do something similar to this, but it needs to be full coverage, like a full roof, to be considered a shelter and get us that shelter point. So we will make that adjustment. I don't think there's a lot of cost change, but we will make sure that it shows a little bit more roof, which is nice, keeping the sun off. So again, the wave shelter.
I have a quick thing on that. Just looking at the bottoms, if you can make the bottoms smooth, like the leaf shade structure, I'm seeing those bolts on the other one.
Great eye.
Just from an injury standpoint, if we could do it without the bolts, I think that'd be best.
Yeah.
Like if it can't fall.
For sure.
Whatever.
We can sink them or cover them. Yeah.
Okay.
2 options. Very good. No problem.
Also, can we go back to the image? The tables look a little bit different than the one in the leaf shade structure. I kind of like the tables and the shades a little more.
I do too.
Okay.
They're
very
more
good.
elevated.
Yeah.
Does
Nice.
everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, fabulous. All right, just gonna write down on leaf for table. All right, fabulous. All right, next, a couple other areas where we asked for input, under the games, of the chess tables, the painted games, hopscotch and foursquare, and the bocce. Our painted games were our favorite, although bocce wasn't too far behind. And then overall, just highest priority. The
Sorry,
playground.
I can't, sorry, hold on a second. I cannot
Yeah.
Thank you.
read that for the life of me. Can you?
I thought
the
it was
paint- Okay, you can't read it either?
I can't read it.
It's
So-
painted games, hopscotch and foursquare.
Hey, that's what we suggested. That's good. That's what we
Thank you.
suggested. Okay,
Okay,
thank
fabulous.
you, all of you people with
Okay.
better eyes.
Okay, and then under our, this is the overall highest priority, so play equipment and the kids' fitness area were our top two. And then the next two were the shelter and the turf mounds and sensory play. The ones didn't rate quite as high were the teen hangout area, the multi-generational gathering space, and the native plantings with interpretive signage. So that just gives you overall, especially helpful if you, for some reason, don't get the grant and you have to pick things. We really have got some good feedback from the community on what's the most important to them. But right now we have everything pretty much in the plan, because we're looking at, potential grants. So what we did was to take all that input. Very often the requests were from concept B, although we had a little bit of A. And so we merged them together so that you all could see what that might look like. We also are pretty close to grant submissions, so we want to, kind of be close to that. So being ready for that. So this gives you that blow up to show, and you can see again, just pointing out that was that extra climbing structure that that you all added at the last meeting. We end up with the bamboo climbers over here, our favorite, the teen hangout area over here, which have some standalone and then a big kind of seating, loungy. All of these are loungy seating. And then they face this existing wall. So this is already a limestone wall. So we're able to save that wall and kind of make this nice space where kids can face each other. And then of course we have our big shelter here, our painted games and the hopscotch that folks asked for. And then the 2 to 5 area over here with that spinner and the swings as well. So that gives you an overall, this is how it looks with everything. We would change the orange right now is kind of that base cost, the playground elements, and then everything you've seen that's that magenta, purpley color are the grant elements that we're adding. And you can see all together, it really fits. It all fits seamlessly as one site. So
Michelle, there was a quick question on how many swings we have today and how many swings will we have?
Gosh. Kyle, do you know how many swings you have today? I didn't look at that.
I want to say like 3 plus the ADA.
Yeah,
Like,
off the top of my head, I'm not sure the quantity. I think this might be 2 less than we currently have. I could confirm that, and if we wanted to look to make any tweaks to quantities, is that what do we want to match what we have, or do we want to?
I'm indifferent. Did anyone from the community meeting talk about the swings? Do we know?
So that's from kids, I tend to hear, not the baby swing age. I haven't heard anything from parents about numbers. From kids, I do tend to hear they get competitive over the number of swings. Like the schools have gotten rid of swings because it was so competitive. Like they're hot items.
They're fun to stand on and grab the chains and.
Again, not the
and
baby
jump from.
swings,
Yeah.
but the regular.
Michelle, do you just, without having, fall zones laid out,
Yeah.
would there be a potential to add in another bay of swings, to add in 2 more belt swings, or would that require us to remove another element?
Yeah, we need about 16 more feet. So we might, like, you can see this is the property line right here. So And this is an existing tree, a couple of existing trees we're trying to save. So I think it'd be worth giving it a shot and trying to fit them in and see what we can do. And with some, kind of tweaks. Right now, the proposed is 2 belts, 1 ADA and 1 full bucket tot seat. So that's what you see
Okay.
here.
I mean, I think there's always give and takes. If there's an ability to add another swing, let's see what that looks like. But otherwise, I mean, there is so much more to this park. And it like,
It looks really
for those, I'm looking around and I remember when I first moved here, it was monkey bars and, which was guaranteed to give you a splinter. And I think a couple slides. So
In
like
sand.
in sand.
Sand.
So like the progress is there, but I hear you. I think swings are, if there's room, let's see. If not, I think we're gonna be in an okay spot.
Yeah.
Especially if we didn't hear feedback from the community on it.
Yeah, I think we, again, we're trying to make destination
Yeah.
something different. And remember, we have Woodlawn has a lot of swings. If they really want swings, they can go there also.
This is the one that
This
everybody,
is like,
Yes.
that everyone wants.
I understand that, but would you want to
If we
take
can
something
fit
out?
it, let's fit
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Did Central School really get rid of swings?
Well, here's the deal. I can tell you why.
Older.
West School has no swings because they
Yeah.
were it's like that age. It's not
Because
just
what
the
happens is
junior
they
high
end up
kids.
standing in line the whole time
Yeah.
in recess, waiting to
Yes.
get in the swing. So
Yeah.
they're not playing.
Yeah.
And that's one of the drawbacks to
And the kids
swings
are
is
like,
when
my
there's too
kids
long
are
a
upset
line,
when
then they're
they're
not playing on other.
but I think
The
in
kids
this
like
case,
swings,
there's
but
so
we've
much
got
going on
Yeah.
that while the competition is there, there's
Yeah.
other things to distract them. But I do think that if we could try to fit more.
Yeah,
swings,
we don't
I
need to
think-
stress out about it, but if we
Right,
could
but
fit one more, I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I would definitely want to see 1 or 2 more swings.
Yeah.
So Michelle, I'm making sure you're,
Wait,
Time out. You're saying something very different. You're
am I
saying
saying?
you definitely want to see that.
I would, yes.
But like, I think what the direction, just want to make sure that we're giving them, if we can put another swing in,
a bait,
Wait.
because you have to put a bait in, so it has to be two,
if we can't, I don't think that's a showstopper.
right?
And what you're saying, when you say definitely, it makes me feel like you think it's a showstopper.
I think it is.
You have to take something out. So what do you want to take out?
I do not.
Wait,
It is, yeah.
Yeah, just one thing, because right now they're separated, that we have the big kid swings and one thing, and then we have the more, what do you call it, the tot swings and another whole thing. I actually like that. Moms might like that, like bigger kids tend to fly off the swings. Anyways, I liked how we had like 2 different ones. I don't know if in the little kid section, if you could have just those 2 or 3 on a bar thing behind number 1, for instance. I don't know. But
Okay, I have to apologize because I was only looking here. You guys actually do have the extra swings over here. Totally my fault. This is it looks funky. It's a friendship swing, and that's
Yeah.
why it just went right over my head for a second there. So this is a friendship swing, and that's a tot swing. And then these we can do as like 3 belts and an ADA, or 2
That's what
belts
I would
and
do.
2 ADAs.
Yeah. I would do that.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
do that.
So you get 3 belts, 1 ADA.
one friendship
Friendship.
and 1
So we
bucket.
actually have the same amount.
Great.
I
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Michelle,
Problem solved.
Yeah.
problem solved. I like it.
Yeah. Michelle, I have a question. Maybe you mentioned before, but forgive me if I'm having to repeat something, but the 2 areas, how are they linked? Because there's
So-
currently no kids running all around.
Yeah, this
between
is
the
our 2 to
areas.
5. This is our 5 to 12.
Okay.
You certainly can walk through the shaded area, but we do have like a little secret walk right bit here. It is accessible, but like it connects the 2 areas. As far as, if I want to go from 2 to 5 to 5 to 12 area. And then of course there's a walk along here as well and here, but so lots of connections. But we want to separate them because that's really best practice.
Just so I'm clear, there's no bocce, correct?
Oh,
Correct. We do have bocce at West though, so remember that. We'd have to
Okay.
take out those, I believe those are tables in number 10, right?
Yes, right
I was
here.
gonna ask what those are.
Those are tables, so we'd have to take out those tables to put a bocce.
Yeah, I like
That
it.
are
So
out there.
cute. I
Yeah,
like it. Yeah,
Bocce was mostly because we wanted to have it
that was for like a point.
adhere to some guidelines, right? That
Additional play elements and then
Right. So did we have, what's replacing that?
the hopscotch, the painted games and the game
That's what I
tables
see. Okay.
are the items that'll go towards the
I see it
grant.
right there. I see it.
Oh, game tables here. Yep.
And the
So
game
there's
tables,
one.
I know I asked this before, is the game tables, is it just chess or is it other games?
Good question.
Chess and checkers right now, but we certainly could look, if you're interested in other games, we certainly can look at other games that would fit, you know.
Mahjong.
Mahjong.
All of a sudden, it's gonna be the whole
That's
park
it.
is mahjong.
That would be fun.
I could see
Yeah.
You still
people
have-
going there at those tables for mahjong.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Or chess or checkers.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should call them mahjong tables. People just have to bring their mats.
Still stuck.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go over one other thing, which is a potential fence location. Right now, there is no fence out there. There's quite a bit of a berm and plantings along this area here. But because it is close to the road, we certainly can consider a potential fence, and we're just showing where that potentially could be here with this red line, and thought we'd let the board have the discussion on that.
How tall is the fence?
Would you usually the 42 inches to 48 inches for this kind of fence?
When someone asked for a fence, did
Yeah.
did
has
that
a
come
kid
up in
gotten
feedback?
hurt? Like, has a kid run out into the street?
So,
We-
but hold on a second. I thought, where did the fence idea come from?
Came from, there's some people in the survey, not a
The survey.
lot.
Okay.
There's, that said they wanted a fence, not a lot. And I can say that the last time we did the construction, we opened up, and now this is 15 years ago, so things have changed, and there's more berms and more growth. Definitely more growth. People were like, well, we want a fence, and we just never put one in. We just did the berms and more growth on there. So, but we just wanted to put it out there that we did get a couple, maybe 4.
Yeah, and there was a few on the first onsite that had mentioned it, and then I think a few in the surveys,
Yeah.
which is something
But I
to.
thought historically, we have been nervous about fences because fences make parents think that you can just leave your kid there and they're protected, like a dog park. And
You also can't just leave your.
you can't, but your dog won't run
Farms
away.
do a really good job, and this seems like we would be leaving it open anyways. You're not gonna have a gate,
There's no
right?
gates, so
Yep.
that's.
Keeps you from the
I
street,
don't-
keeps you from the.
I don't think
the
it's a
traffic.
lot of add
That's the biggest.
to add a fence.
No, I don't,
We're
I'm
adding
never one-
anything, actually. Like, it's still open. A kid can still go out. The berms are really high. There's a short fence. There's all the foliage. I don't see the need for a fence, but
okay, I'm on the same side as you are.
Yeah.
Like, I actually think
Yeah.
the fence detracts from the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I think it does give false security because I think people are gonna be like, well, why isn't it fully closed? Why do you,
Yes.
like, I think it's false security. I think it definitely detracts from the sort of attractive nature of our parks.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do something and it was important, I would recommend what you do on Vernon Avenue or at Woodlawn with the
The split rail fence,
what's that called?
the cedar split rail fence.
I don't think you need anything.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
this to
think
me
we're there.
this
Yeah.
to me makes me feel like
A prison.
yeah.
a dog park.
I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't, if we don't want it, I think the look will be fine. It's just one element of like 10,000 elements and see through and I don't know. I have fences in my backyard and it looks just fine, so. it
But
just-
the fence in your backyard has a legit purpose. I imagine.
Oh, no, I understand. We want it. I think look wise, I think it's fine. I don't think it's a prison. But if we don't want it, that's really more the case. That's my
Michael, I
thing.
do like, I do like your idea of the cedar, because that's my park is Vernon.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of nice.
It just defines the border a
It
little bit,
does.
but like,
I
you don't,
actually don't think it's
I don't know if you
needed
need it.
there, though.
You don't need it, but so especially because this is catering to the younger kids, Vernon is designed for the littles.
Yeah.
And it actually does help. Like, it's easy to say to
It helps
parents.
define that. space.
Yeah, because they're little kids
Yeah.
or, 4 or
Yeah.
5-year-olds. And trust me, on my street, those 4 or 5, they like take off. I mean,
No.
take off. And
I do
so-
think sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that if we were to do something, because we want to create a little bit of definition, particularly around the little kid area, I think that would be okay. So not like the full red line, but like maybe the top portion. Yeah, it might look awkward, but that's closer to where
Yeah.
the little.
But
the
more
little
importantly,
kid-
do we want this fence or not? We don't have to decide what kind of fence we don't
I
want.
don't
I
want.
don't.
No. Right, I
Well,
think
three
it's-
to
I think
two,
nobody
so-
wants it.
And
so.
I haven't heard any
It's been,
major
it's been
complaints.
fenceless for
We just had
75 years.
we just had 3 or 4, so we had to bring it up.
Understand that there's some
Yeah.
people, but I think those people might be disappointed if there's no gate then, like again.
Yeah,
I just
that's
don't
a very
get
good point.
it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think it's been there for 75 years without a fence. I think we'll be fine.
right, yeah.
All right, no fence.
Okay, no fence. All right, so there's our final plan. How does the board feel about this is our grant submission.
From your perspective, is there something that we're missing that's very obvious for that grant proposal?
No, I feel like we gave a lot of great choices for, this grant and the site to work together and be a really good application. So, oh gosh, there's seating, there's shade in places that there isn't now, which I think will really serve the community well also. So,
This park is gonna get so much utilization. Friends Park, when you first redid it, it got so much and it kind of never even really died down.
I don't think, yeah.
Never dies down.
It never dies down. It's
And this actually, in my opinion, has so much more playability than
Yeah.
what we have there now,
a ton of,
like
100%.
50% more playability. So,
I remember doing the scavenger hunt with my kids way back when they were little, and that was the new feature. But no, I think, look, I think this looks great. I think there's so much to it. There's been a lot of thought into it. I love the community input. And the fact that yes, one thing was kind of a landslide, but the fact that there's mostly 60-40. It actually shows that the community kind of feels a lot like us. Like we try to speak on their behalf, but look, the fact that it was 60-40 shows that you brought two really good things to them. So it's a compliment to you, Michelle and Kyle and the
my
team
team.
helped design it.
thanks. And a good board. Lots of good input. Well, thanks, everybody. Any other questions I can help with?
I think we're good.
good. So what we'll do next is that she'll continue on to the outlet because it's getting up to deadline, do everything she has to do. We'll make it official at the board meeting in August under consent agenda item, just approving this design.
And we think that we can afford this.
So, backing up to the previous board, backing up to the previous board meeting. So the amount we have earmarked currently in our 5-10-year CIP covers the base scope. The additional grant items total about $500,000 and the grant is for $600,000. We should find out in December, ideally December, if we are awarded the grant. If we're awarded the grant, we know we have the full scope. If we aren't awarded the grant, the board will have an opportunity to decide, do you want to just do the base scope? Do you want to elevate the budget before we lock budgets in to the full scope or somewhere in the
But
middle?
with that said, we have the money to do the whole thing because of what we're setting aside and not hurt our CIP,
CIP,
capital improvement plan.
thank you.
Yeah, okay.
So December, we should find out grant award and then be able to make a,
But we're hoping for the grant, but I
Yes.
think would have enough in
All the
that
grants.
based on what we're transferring in funds.
Again, by December also, not only will we find out about the grant, but we'll get a better insight into the collections from Cook County. Right, and make sure that there isn't going to be some kind of.
We will,
Did last year.
yeah, we will. I don't know if that, the Cook County levy, that'll be more geared toward operating funds. I'd say where we might get more clarity though would be potentially on the beach project, and the stairs. I don't know if around that timing,
Okay.
we might get a little more clarity on what that cost will be. And remember, we have the interest income that we've earned on the bond proceeds.
Yeah.
So that could be a potential source of the additional funds for these add-on items also.
So to summarize, by December, we'll have line of sight to the park grant, the remainder of the referendum bond.
but no, so the stair project is going to be designed next summer, so we wouldn't have that
Wouldn't have
element,
that,
but we'll know,
No.
we'll know where the maintenance center in Ballfield officially closed out at. We'll know where West closed out at. So we'll have a better picture of the things that we're currently under contract for.
Yep. And we have interest income and also we have fund balance transfer. So this year is tracking to be a very good year.
We'll have a better idea on
Yeah.
the fund balance transfer too.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, I'm keeping the numbers running through my head, so I'm just trying to sort it through to understand even the interest income and other reserves.
Yep.
What are some other big items that we could get line of sight into? Would be helpful.
Okay. Good points.
Okay. Thank you.
Keep us
Thank you, Michelle.
financially savvy and safe and let's invest in
Always
Glencoe.
do. Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michelle.
Michelle. Good job.
Remind me
Alright.
when the target is to start.
Not till next fall.
So a year.
Last time we had lovely discussion on goals, and I think we went well into the normal close time. So Lisa, let's continue that, current goals and additional new board
Excellent.
directed goals. And I think we're talking about beauty.
Okay, there we go. So the goal we're working on now to start off where we left off is preserved and well-maintained parks and facilities. So I'm going to turn it over to Kyle to talk about the goals that we have for this year and then go from there.
Thank you, Lisa. So first, just going to review the goals that came out of our comprehensive master plan. So I'm just going to go read them off one by one. Please feel free to stop me. So develop and implementing park site master plans. Just went through that exercise here with Friends Park. Standardizing equipment and site furniture. That's staying with certain manufacturers, not having 20 different manufacturers of different things throughout all our parks. Reimagining the landscape, really just kind of a broad, high level, think about things differently. How can we make things look different, new, pop when we go to renovate a park? Consider land acquisition when appropriate and responsible. That's one that would come to the board, certainly, if there's any land for sale that the Park District might be interested in acquiring. Replacing or improving the security of select interior and exterior doors at Takeoff Center. That's an ongoing process. Came out of the security assessment. Continue to add security and safety trainings. That's an operating item that we continue to build upon. Improve the Glencoe Beach shoreline resiliency and boat storage. So obviously the boat storage is a major item of the beach project forthcoming this September. Enhance environmentally sustainable maintenance practices, always looking for ways to reduce our carbon footprint and the way we maintain our parks and facilities. Conducting a cost-benefit analysis of maintenance-related technologies, electric vehicles, electric equipment, robotic equipment, things like that. We're regularly evaluating the cost of such items and how it would impact our operations for maintaining our parks. Investigating grant opportunities for dealing with invasive species at a large scale. This is something we could potentially turn a focus to when it comes to buckthorn. That's obviously a much larger conversation, but potentially some grants to help offset some of those costs. Reducing the use of salt for snow removal. We've done that by way of new equipment for manual removal, as well as chloride-free salt or chloride-free ice melt products. Prioritizing the investment in the maintenance facility and yard. That project is wrapping up here, so that one's checked off. Conducting an accessible routes evaluation to improve walkability and bikeability to parks and facilities. This is not something we have started, but is potentially looking for ways to make the community more walkable and bikeable. Implement green team initiatives and environmental scorecards, certainly always doing that. Including ADA improvements in our capital improvement plan. Every project we touch requires us to become compliant with ADA standards. Rain gardens, seed blends, and native plantings. We've increased the number of rain gardens. We've pivoted to a clover seed blend for our non-athletic fields and using native plantings in new and renovated landscaping beds. Updating the district's capital improvement plan in our heat sheets. That's the board should be familiar with both of those, and we do that on an annual basis. And then the proposed referendum, which was passed in 2024. So quite a bit of things on there. I really just to open it up to the board. Is there any goals or board actions that you would like us to add to our priority goals?
So can you go back to maintenance related technologies? Can you go through that again? What is maintenance related technology?
Sure. So I think the big ones that are entering our field right now are robotic or GIS controlled mowers, snow plows, field stripers, things like that. We have demoed a few, specifically with the line stripers. The math doesn't add up at this time for us to purchase them because we have so few number of fields. The upfront cost doesn't offset the amount of labor cost that we currently do. The mowing is one that as the technology comes a little more into the commercial space, I could see that one being a potential item down the line that we look to help supplement our staff, certainly not replace, but supplement that workload that takes place in the spring and summer months. Those are probably the big three technologies for parks maintenance that we're seeing right now from a maintenance standpoint. Lisa, anything to add? You get to go?
No, that's it. And eventually, right now, electric vehicles, the trucks aren't powerful enough to handle what we need to do. So the technology is not there yet. But in our building, we did put infrastructure in place. Should that ever be a time we can, we have ability to plug things in, should that ever come. But right now, it's not there for trucks yet. They're powerful enough.
I think
light duty trucks, absolutely. not for the trucks that we need.
F-150, I think, is the highest that they go, and none of our trucks in
Hopefully
the service
in
have
the
that.
next 10 years,
Oh,
we'll
I
get
think
there,
so.
but right now it's not, so.
So maybe it's just like along those lines, like what I'm thinking, I think where I was going with some of it is like any way that we could use technology to help us better understand how to sort of service people who use this.
Yeah, I think a couple of things come to mind right away. I know we have Placer AI that we use to track, amount of usage of our parks, and potentially could leverage that to figure out how to prioritize where we're, doing our routine maintenance. I know one thing that some places have we can look into is they actually make it's a sensor that goes into a garbage can, and it alerts when that garbage can's full. So you can avoid going unnecessarily to some park that's got no garbage while being alerted to, hey, that kind of stuff is starting to come into market.
It's like, and again, I'm thinking of like, doesn't sound weird, like think of like our house, like so much of our stuff is
Mhm.
like on an app where you can automate or something like that, right? So like, if, for example, garbage levels are much higher than normal, for
Mhm.
whatever reason, like can't we get info sent to our app? Like if you were to put sensor lighting when in the evening, it's like really, really active for whatever reason, like it's just a really pretty night or whatever. I'm just thinking out loud of like, as we want people to use our parks and we're doing more to bring people to the park. And I'm not just talking about kids, I'm talking about like when we've done the like wine walk or we've done some of that other stuff. It's like, how do we use technology to better understand how people are using our parks so that we can then, this second part to this topic is how do they implement analytics similar to what that intern did to help us with developing programming.
Jackie, what I hear you saying is 100%, I think, the right way to go. I'm not certain the five of us are as informed. So
No.
maybe what we do is, if we want, and I think this could be the goal that we want, like maybe we send them to conferences on park maintenance and park maintenance technology, or
And
even
robotics.
Yeah.
and-
or robotics or things like that. Like, and I think that may be, I think it's probably a
That's-
better way,
I will go.
or just push the staff to be as informed about park district technology as possible, which they're probably already doing.
Yeah, and yeah.
But like, I want to give them,
But have
because
it
I
be a goal.
So that's not really a
Yeah.
priority goal. That's a goal to go underneath the one we already have, which
Yeah.
is great. And
Yep.
so
Right.
that's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So
And I'm not
absolutely.
implying
And
you're
we
not-
I
already
don't
do
want to
that.
solve their
just-
problems, but
Right.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
you're hitting the nail on the head where it's like, with AI and with robotics, I'll ask the question, how do you think that the Glencoe Park District, which is small, can take advantage of this to reduce our costs and increase our service levels?
If it's cost effective.
Yeah.
Right?
When you
Reduce
go,
our costs and increase our service levels.
Stay
you go
up
to the
date on
NRPA and the
Yeah, we
IPRA,
do-
that's gotta be where the technology be discovered at.
We do all that.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
you-
that's what, yeah, but it's good to, I think, put it.
Yeah, I'm not implying you're not. I
So
just
no,
wasn't
but so
sure.
it's not,
No, it's good. It's
that's,
a really
it's
good
a
goal.
goal to put under, to keep us aware of that, which we do already, because remember, these are our priority goals. You're not seeing the individual goals that go underneath them. So that is great to put as an individual, because it really, that's already a priority goal there, which is leverage technology, right?
But I know sometimes you have to come to us for the money for it. So like if it's a
Yep.
goal on
Yep.
there, then
Yeah.
at least you can just
Yeah.
go to the conference, learn, come back.
Right. And it might not.
Because we
make
value it. I
sense
think
to
that's
do
going to
it,
be a
like,
value add
in-
in the years
It's
to
just,
come.
I don't know.
They have to get up there yet. They have to, it's not quite there.
Yep,
We're
yep,
watching it, but it's
yeah.
not
Also,
quite
the
there. But it will
Placer
be.
thing does do a lot of that stuff.
What was that?
The Placer AI that Kyle alluded to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because we can see routes that they
That's
can
where
take
they're
to the
mowing.
park. We can see where
think
they
it'd be
go
cool.
shopping
know.
afterwards, stuff like that. So,
That type of info.
Yeah, and we're already.
so we already have that information.
I mean, quite frankly,
It's a little scary.
actually, there's actually software out there that could just take all of the discussions that we're having now in AI and summarize in pre-meeting minutes. Like, those are the things that we can do to help Erica focus on.
We might
other
already
things.
be doing that.
Good. They were not for a while. Okay, so this one looks like it's good.
Well, I have a
Oh,
question.
Oh,
sorry.
I've got some.
Where does something, is this the page to be talking about, like, really double clicking on the rain garden seedlings and native planting?
We'll be
Probably-
talking about that in a few more slides.
Yeah.
That's the view.
Yep,
Is that a different-
Yep, can you hold on?
Yeah.
These are just priority, yes. We'll
I'm
talk
sorry,
about
that's
in
your pull
a
up.
little more detail on that one.
I thought it was the same.
The layout of this is, well, the priority goals, and it'll be the capital improvement plan, so our 5 and 10 year plan, and then park beautification, where it'll kind of open up to just
Yeah,
general.
Yeah.
More deep,
Great.
depth discussion.
I do. Where's the walkability one?
The walkability was
Okay.
the
Yep,
conduct.
that's there. Yeah, I
Conducting
definitely,
accessible
yeah.
routes evaluation. to
Yes.
improve
I just
walkability.
want to double down on that one because
Okay.
I think that the village and the park district together have improved
Mhm.
walkability and bikeability. And
Except when it comes to downtown parking where people refuse to walk 2 blocks
Right.
from the train station.
yes, but like let's
Guildhall.
focus, and especially I believe the village is going to extend, for instance, like the Green Bay Trail along Old Green Bay Road, which I think is awesome because
Right.
kids bike on that street all the time. So wherever we can look to, if the village needs,
Weave into
like,
that.
weave in, let's
We
weave
work
in.
with the school
Yeah.
and the village on walkability for the whole town. So
Yeah.
that's always been a collaborative
Great.
effort of all 3
Good.
agencies, because those are the 3 agencies the most.
It's like
Perfect.
the north-south is feeling kind of
Yeah.
nailed. It's the
Oh,
east-west that's
east-west.
so hard.
I know.
Like when I bike my daughter to camp, I counted one morning 36 other people biking at just to
Mhm.
camp or to wherever they
Yep.
were going.
Yeah.
It was just so cool.
I love it.
And it's that,
Yeah.
it's that other way that's so
Yes.
hard.
The other way is hard and kids have gotten
Yeah.
on their way to West School, especially going west. It's hard, but I mean, I know we don't have the
It's on
land
the
where we
list.
don't have it.
It's on the list.
It's on the list. Yeah. All right.
Great.
Right, next.
Okay. All right, so next is the capital improvement plan. So everyone should be fairly familiar with this. So what you're seeing on the top is the 5-year capital improvement plan. It's laying out the projects that we're currently undertaking or have forthcoming in the next 5 fiscal years. This is what was presented last year to the board in, I believe, November or December. So it's driven by our heat sheets. Those heat sheets and the comprehensive plan really kind of make up what the current capital improvement projects are slated to be. But ultimately, it's the board's decision as to what projects to have in our upcoming project list, and as well as ultimately setting the budgets every year for those projects. Updated annually, again, usually presented in November, December. We update the costs based on new information. As a project gets further in design development, we'll update those heat sheet numbers accordingly. A project that's 10 years out right now has one number. That number could look a lot different 10 years from now based on information that comes to light as you get deeper into design. So just to run through, we obviously have in the current 5-year West, which is ongoing, the beach project, which is about to kick off, Taketh Maintenance Ball Field, which is wrapping up. We have the beach playground and spray features, which is about to kick off, Friends Playground, which we just discussed, stairs, ramps, and retaining walls, which is designed next year, construction in calendar year 2028. The Weinberg Ice Rink Mechanicals, planned for construction in fiscal year 30, calendar year 29. And then the last item in our 5-year is the Watts baseball field, which is slated for construction in calendar year 2030, fiscal year 2031. When we get off into the 6 to 10 year projects, just to kind of show you what's off into that further out into the future, we have replacement of the flat roof here at Taketh Center. The Shelton Playground will, believe it or not, be coming up due. I believe that's 8 years out. Caulk basketball courts, West Playground, Astor Park, and the beach house roof. So that's, again, kind of the summary of the 10-year capital improvement plan. The board has been presented this every year around budget season. But to that end, is there any projects that the board would like to consider us looking into, larger scale projects that might require a capital investment? And if so, then we could obviously look into things and bring back some initial information.
What I always say, when you're thinking of adding new, always remember that needs something has to go away. So when you're adding something, these are high level costs, obviously estimates, don't get stuck on a cost. It's, if you put something new, yes, something would have to be delayed or taken away. So.
Or you gotta go knock on the public's door for more money.
Yeah,
It's hard.
they already fundraise
Um,
all their way.
But no, I think it's a really good point to remember, as I end up rolling off the board. Is the Weinberg Mechanical really 2.8 million in today's costs? It's a placeholder.
Yeah.
It's a placeholder.
Maybe more.
And it may be more. And then Watts baseball may be less. So these things all have a way of somewhat working out, but I think, it sounds like most of these are necessary maintenance.
Yeah,
It does not sound like you have a lot of, hey,
We've,
these are flashy new things to do.
So in our comprehensive master plan, the community was very adamant, take care of what you have.
Yep.
At a high level, take care of what you have before you add anything else. So we're very conscious of that. You know, for example, the trail, on Old Green Bay, which I love, connect Glencoe. We didn't have the money for that. We found, luckily there was a lot of trail grants and that was all funded by that, but we probably wouldn't have moved forward if we didn't get those grants. So we're very conscious of any new amenities that we put in.
Mhm.
You have to take care of them. A trail is pretty, you know, it's not like a playground that has to be replaced every 20 years, but we just remember that when we
Yep.
go through.
To both those points, everything on this list is something we currently have. There's nothing.
And it's,
way to build.
fully funded,
Yep.
which is a great place to be, thanks to the referendum passing.
I don't want to create something because I don't think people use them a lot. They're really pretty and I think they look fine as they are. I think they are on our property though, just the Green Bay Road and Tudor where those meet, there's like those stone steps.
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
just-
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
We
Wait, where's the
ever-
tutor?
I mean, I
Women-
think they're-
Yeah.
yeah.
Better stater.
They're really decorative, I think. and
By
pretty.
Ryder Cedar.
They might be fine as they are.
They need some love. I think, well, we could,
Yeah, I think they're cool.
That's our
Yeah.
park. Yeah, it's historic.
what we could probably bring back is we will have to do some restoration at a minimum to that is bring back maybe some pave to just tuck point and clean and reset. It'll be this, and then the board can
Okay.
decide if that's something they want to add more to, even if it's something like
I wouldn't, I'm
plantings,
not
but
thinking about
yeah.
adding, but yeah, I just,
Yeah.
you know, I
You're
think
correct.
that's
That
on
is
our
something
property.
that-
Yeah.
It is definitely our
Yeah.
property.
it'd probably come back to the board as a Fund 65 project
Yeah.
based on that type of scope,
Yeah.
which we would discuss at a board meeting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it would be,
Yep.
that would be fun 65.
Anything with our favorite building that we lease out to Glencoe Youth Services that needs,
Significant infrastructure work, not at this time. We have, annual improvements. There's nothing, it's a pretty simple building. There's not like a whole heck
no
of a lot,
new
but
roof, no.
I think the roof was done maybe like,
Done when we did, Central. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
when we did the whole park.
yeah, it's probably about 10 years ago. Yeah. So.
Before my time, so that's good.
Yeah.
What about, and I don't know if it's our property, the little cabin.
The
where-
little house is not ours.
That's not ours.
Thank good.
Oh,
God.
yeah. I never.
That is
been
not
in there.
ours.
Yeah, I've never been.
Yeah, no, happily not ours.
Forest Preserves, I believe.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's not even the villages.
I mean, look, at some point, would it be a pipe dream of mine to, because you said forest preserve, would it be a pipe dream of mine to take over the land
Yeah.
at the,
Yes.
at Green Bay, just south of Lake Cook?
There's
The,
a house for sale that I was.
Turnbull Woods, that little parking
yeah,
lot.
I would absolutely love that land.
I
Yeah.
agree.
By Lake Cook and.
The
Green
one,
Bay?
yeah,
It's Cook County.
It's Cook
land.
County.
There's a house for sale.
the
that's
Forest
up there.
Preserve does
Someone-
not
it's
want to
under
sell it to
contract.
us, but like,
We've asked for a dog park
yeah, I mean, it would
5 times.
it would be a phenomenal place for a dog park,
Yes, phenomenal.
but like, they will not sell to us. So like, but I think.
There's a
what-
home that's contingent right at the edge.
But I think on the capital improvement plan, like, I just don't know where to do this. And if it's here, like, do we look at land acquisition to meet our needs, at some place? And
That is one of our.
It's one of the
that is
priority
one of our-
goals.
Keep it as a goal
Yeah.
for, and especially I think dog park.
Yeah.
But this is what we would have to do is
Yeah.
if we were serious
you pick
about that,
something
we have
else.
to start building up a fund for that.
Yeah.
So that's something the board could say, hey, we really want to be, for
Yep.
example, you have that house that's contingent.
Right,
We really want to have $1 million in reserves to be able to do,
to jump on it.
to jump on something if it should come up. So that's something
That's a
that we
good
could
point.
look at.
Yeah.
That's a really,
And I think if we're gonna do land acquisition and it's tied to like something like a dog park, it definitely must be community, right? Like dog park, from what I'm told, it was
Oh.
a 50-50.
No,
no.
community absolutely wants it. We just have no place to put it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
So like, that's a no-brainer. Let's find
Yeah.
land.
and look, a dog park, the nice thing about a dog park, it's not as easy as Green Bay, as the Glencoe is. It's a fence, some dog bags.
It's not that easy.
I know, I'm saying, it's not as easy as you think.
Clean up.
It's a lot, but it's not,
No, I one in Utah that I want to show you.
Now, there's,
it is
But-
not,
It's not super.
there's no
But-
plumbing.
there is plumbing.
I gotta
You have
get.
to have
dog
water. But you have to, so if that's our goal, then what we should do is that we should start building up a fund. So, for
Yeah.
example, we have roof fund, that every year we put
Oh.
money into a roof fund so that when this big roof goes, it's not a huge hit to us, right? We have we call it
John-
sinking roof fund. We
John
could
has exciting
do,
stuff.
we could do a fund for land acquisition. That's what a lot of park districts do. They just have that money sitting there. So should something like Hoover Estates come up, we could never afford that. That would have to be a referendum. But if we have a house maybe next to the forest reserve that comes up, that maybe, hey, we can do bog park because it's not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
That won't
Yeah.
happen anyplace else in town, but
I think it's worthy of, at some point, like not tonight, but individually, let's like think about it, but remind ourselves that money doesn't come from anywhere. So it's like, if you had a choice to improve the current infrastructure or invest in land for a dog park, what would you do? And I think the Glencoe voters have said, invest in the current infrastructure.
What about? Can I move on from the dog park?
yeah. you absolutely-
Pool, you're not allowed to say pool. Can't say pool.
How would you think about the cost of like improvements by the new trail, like the
path.
path? Like if you really wanted to make a serious effort to make some of that land a little bit more nature-like,
Mhm.
that would cost money. Is that
Yes.
something that would be on this page?
Next page.
As you said before, in 2 pages. Sorry.
Anybody else have anything for this? Let's move on to the next page.
There we go.
Look at that.
Go back.
One last.
Oh, sorry.
Something
there.
comes up, this is like, I think a more generic question, but like, let's say like, if through like the committee through the lake, something comes up, or the task force, or something like really big comes up. What is the process to then say, how do we incorporate it? Because to Michael's point, money has to come from somewhere. Like, it doesn't just
Right.
automatically we say, hey, like this idea, let's drop it in. Like, how does that get, like, do we?
We get the
We
right.
talk about it.
The board, we bring it back to the board and the board discusses idea, then we go back to our capital projects and say which of those projects is going to be delayed.
Okay.
And then really, that's what happens. We would go, okay, well, Astor is looking okay. It's not dangerous. Okay, we could but that's only like 350. So we'd have to look at how much that amenity that you want to replace is and, or put in and then see what we have to delay or take out. You could say, do we really need Astor Park anymore? Just for example.
Not that
I
one.
have a question. Is our bluff in good shape? Like, and because I did see in that one of the goals was beach or sand or whatever.
Yes,
Are we
right.
doing okay? Do we feel good about that? We're not gonna have a surprise like. Yeah.
From what we could see,
Yeah.
based on weather, and that always changes, right? Right now, we're fine.
Okay.
What couldn't happen, for example, if this group came back or the community says, we want a separate walking area going down to the beach. Right now we
If
have
we
a
have to do
delineated,
dramatic
I
changes.
want a sidewalk like on the bottom.
Yeah.
That would require moving that whole retaining wall
Mhm.
back like 10 feet. And that is extremely expensive.
Yeah.
So that's something like, to be honest, we'd have to go for a referendum with the village and say, okay, unless there's a grant out there.
But
So
right now, the bluff looks like. in good
yes, we
shape.
have no
Okay.
issues, right?
Okay.
Yeah, from the bluff stability standpoint, yeah, we had the
We did
bluff assessment was
yeah,
done.
the assessment and it was
It was
fine.
good.
The area that was concerned was got the large crib wall. That was the one area that had
Yep, that one. cribble,
significant
yeah.
stabilization issues.
Eventually, we'll have to replace that other wall, but they did not see that as an immediate need. So,
Yep.
and that would just be replacing in kind, not pushing it back.
Yeah.
Does the
Pushing it
village
back.
help with that?
Yes, they
Yeah, the
do.
village helps with that too.
Okay. Okay.
We have a shared use. We both need it,
Mhm.
right? And so we've had agreement, an agreement that we both pay for those. And it's been a great partnership because they got the grant, which we can't get for that retaining wall. And then whatever is left, we split that difference. So. Another one?
No,
You get two. huh?
I know. Well, usually I do take two. I'm gonna wait for a little bit. Okay. Can we
All right.
please move on?
All
and
right.
Make Commissioner Cummins
Very happy.
So park,
very happy with flower beds and bioswales and
I'm with you.
making our parks beautiful.
Okay, so this question. So obviously we have in our goals beautification,
Yeah.
right? So I guess we need to know from the board, what does beautification mean to you?
Yeah.
And would you like to see anything new, addition, and different? And what I'm going to tell you is you're going to give us ideas. And what we're going to do is we're going to write those ideas down and then we're going to come back and tell you how much those ideas cost.
Yeah.
Because I don't have
Yeah.
cost things for you today.
One thing I think could be beneficial, again, we've been really busy with all of the renovation projects. And I don't think it's urgent, certainly not for like this summer, but once those die down and we're in a lull a little bit with respect to our infrastructure projects, I do think it'd be good to look around, do a walkthrough of our grassy areas, and maybe decide where to cut our losses as far as so that we have like mulch around some trees and then we have like weeds growing up there because the mowers don't mow there and it's labor intensive and costly to have somebody go out and like pick weeds. But those just keep growing. And I do think the community like looks at some of those and they're like, what's going on? So do we need the mulch there? Should we just have grass go all the way up to the trees and then the mowers can go around them? So like a cut your losses type situation with some of these. And then other ones, I actually think we should look for some opportunities to find volunteers, like with the garden club, with the, what do you call it? Green Bay Trail, to help us from a cost perspective, if there are new, additional plantings that we want places. I think there's volunteers to be found.
And we have partnered with both
Yeah.
those organizations on multiple projects, and certainly always open to those. I think kind of to Lisa's point, we always have to remember that the future and ongoing costs,
Yeah.
volunteers are great. We want to use them and have good relationships, but we do have to recognize that they ebb and flow in terms of numbers, but we're going to be responsible for maintaining all this. But
You can't, what we say is you can't depend on volunteers. That's a great thing when they happen. So, and you have to remember, you also have to have people working with the volunteers. So,
That's still, yeah.
yeah, you still have to have staff organizing and stuff, not to say anything's doable, but there is staff costs associated, right? So if 10% of someone's job it has to be overseeing volunteers in the park for these park beautification projects, then where does that come from? So it's doable, but by saying, put volunteers out there, it's not as easy as that. Just,
Okay.
I know that.
But along those
Brittany?
lines, I'm curious, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I haven't figured out my theme. It's like technology and human capital. But is there opportunities where like you can partner with like Nutria or other high schools that have a sustainability group or like a gardening group? Like I know Nutria has, I don't know if a lot of people know, they have a greenhouse in the Winnetka campus that was donated. And so like I know that that's been a big thing to like really help kids learn more about, not just gardening, like to look pretty in the beautification, but like overall, like the environment. And I wonder, is that opportunity there? Could you do the same with, say, Oakland Community College or with like Forest College or I just think to
Do
myself,
what, Jackie?
so to talk about some of these things that she was describing as like volunteer opportunities, but again, thinking more of an internship where we could do some environmental work around, where do we have rain
Yeah.
gardens and bioswales?
We could have like an event.
Big, I don't
or
know
like a
if it,
bulb planting event.
We
where kids
absolutely can do
come.
that. Like, we're
Megan,
going to do
Megan's
one
got-
this
I
fall.
don't know
I
if
want
that's a good idea.
I just
Yeah.
want to put it this way,
Yeah.
is that we can absolutely do that. Forest reserves do it all the time. They have the summer workforce.
Yeah.
There has to be someone that is coordinating. It's not as easy as you think. They have to go in, talk to the
Yeah.
groups. So we can
lot of
absolutely do that, but we're talking, our staffing is so tight right now that if we
We're
did that, we absolutely can do it, but we have to add staff on for that. So it's not free because, but not to say that's a deterrent because you could absolutely, that could be a benefit for everybody, but it's not free. You might not get the cost, but we're also providing experience and teaching people,
Yeah.
gardening and long-term, that's part of our mission too.
Mm-hmm.
We can absolutely do that, but just know that we would have to figure out how we could do that.
at
So
least-
I think it sounds to me like there are other areas in the community, whether it's Oakton, whether it's New Trier, whether it's even working with the folks who do the greenhouse. And it sounds like what I think you all are saying is probably push the staff to think about how can we increase community involvement to increase beautification.
Yeah.
I think that's what you are stating. I don't want to solve it here.
Yep.
I think,
But I have,
two-
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry, go
No,
ahead.
go.
I was just saying, I think agree, I hear that loud and clear. Backing up to Commissioner Reifen's thought about taking a look and seeing areas that might be cutting our losses or changing. Would it make sense we haven't done a park tour, maybe get one on the calendar for the spring to take a park tour? We're not going to have as many major projects to be looking at, so maybe the focus could be looking at some of these linear parks and discussing on site, what would you like to see us do? That would be very helpful to be looking at something side by side.
To do a park tour that starts anytime past 6 o'clock. Because
Yeah.
we are constantly like running against the sun.
And that's
So,
fine.
like,
So
if
we
you
can
want
do
to
it
do
on a
it,
Saturday.
we could do it on Saturday. I just,
You're
it
running
drives me.
against the what?
The
The
sunlight.
sunlight.
And we always spend more time at 1
Yeah.
and then like we're rushed. So if you want to do it all in, but like, I
Yeah.
think we start at like 4.
Well, I think if you can, I think absolutely what, Kyle, that would be very helpful for us to go through the parks and just see an idea of what you're talking about. Cause
Yeah.
if if we're talking about making all of our parks look like this one, for example, this is this is this is gorgeous.
No,
But it's
Is it
very
yours?
labor intensive.
beautiful, but no, yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought, okay.
And it's gorgeous. We have highlighted different parks to do this, our premier park. So take a Caulk,
Yeah.
lakefront,
Yeah.
there's certain ones and more perennial based than
Mhm.
annual based. So we could, it would be nice to just kind of go around to see exactly what you're talking about. So we know if we need staffing or,
And then you could like let
Volunteer-
us know about cost and then we could.
Exactly, that
Yeah,
would be a
I
lot
think that's
easier,
really,
so.
yeah, great idea.
because then we can we can formulate a plan of like, okay, we see what they want. So now we don't, yep.
Okay, so on this one, and I know this is these words have been around for a long time. I struggle with even using the word beautification as our goal here. Like,
Okay.
I kind of want us to be a little bit more aspirational or, bigger thinking and in terms of what we want our parks to sort of stand for and feel like. Like, do we want them to feel wilder? Do we want them to feel
Oh,
like,
love that.
what's kind of the goal? And beautification can be an outcome of that goal.
Mm-hmm.
But because I think our parks are beautiful. And the question is like, could we push them farther on certain dimensions that might tie in, the question for me anyway, tie into sustainability or, we just built this amazing greenhouse. And did you guys go to Green Bay Trail Day? It was
I did.
awesome.
Yeah.
And like the community engagement just around like the owls and the butterflies and it was exactly kind of what I would have in mind if I was thinking about where I would improve some of our parks, which are already great. But taking that walk on Old Green Bay through cut grass is really different than taking a walk through or by something like what we have at Shelton Park. And is that something we want to aim for the
That's it.
community? The answer might be no. For me, it would be yes. But I think that's more what I would want to explore in this topic.
I agree.
I like how you said that. That's a great thing that we want to go on our park tour. We could say, okay, so what's the feel we want for this area? Do
There
we
are
want it more
opportunities
natural? Do we
to go
want
more
less
natural.
grass?
Versus opportunities. This is the right thing at Concord. I think it's beautiful.
I
It's
like
great. But like,
We should, for those that are less in tune with their inner park beauty. It'll be helpful to also understand what the options are before we go in. So like,
yeah.
what does natural mean? What does, do you want this to be a perennial, an annual,
and
a
like-
natural? Do you want it to be this, like,
Like
we shouldn't be debating, like, when we walk on this park tour, we should be like, you know what, this fits into this category. We should have 5 or 6 categories and
Yeah.
classify them.
And a very basic thing I'd love to understand, like, is maintenance over by the greenhouse in Shelton Park, is that more or less
Yeah,
capital and
that'd be
cost and
helpful.
people intensive?
We can bring back what those different options are. I mean, again, one end could be
Yeah.
treated
Like
turf
woodlands,
grass all the way
these
to.
Matching grasses,
Yeah.
like, I don't know if that's easy to maintain or if
Mhm.
that's hard actually to
Yeah, is
maintain.
that a nightmare for you
Yeah.
guys? or is
Yeah,
it-
yeah, so those would be helpful when
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Like the,
Those look pretty,
I
yeah.
mean, I think what I'm hearing though is before we get to the categorization is what's the master plan? And like, what is like, maybe it's my own visual way of thinking, but I'm thinking of like Frederick Olmsted that had like a master plan and everything was
Yeah.
like top to bottom, like there were specific details.
And I think we
Well, I
have a
think
great
the idea is to
master plan. I
learn
think
what
it
these
just
things
leaves
are, then you make the
a lot
master plan.
open
Right.
for
Yeah.
You have to learn first what these things are.
exploration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't, none of us know what they are. That
We can
Yeah.
absolutely bring back, if we're talking about the trail along Old Green Bay, we can bring back the green space next to the trail could look anything from
Right.
turf grass that's treated for no weeds to completely, unmanaged native that doesn't get cut and somewhere in between. We could bring back those different levels along with cost and maintenance impacts.
I think it would be actually,
no, the public
I think it'd be helpful
for X, Y, Z.
and I'm gonna volunteer Meg over there. It'll be helpful to understand the different classifications. Like,
Yeah, we could.
that would be something I would love
Mhm.
to understand, because I don't speak
Yeah.
this language. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus
Native
green
plants.
space versus concrete, I
Yeah.
get that, but like, we should understand.
Yeah.
So I
And
think,
it might even be helpful to show like what the places around us do. I mean, there's one extreme is Lake Forest Open Lands is like, over here, and then, I don't know, I don't want to call someone being over here, but
I think from a,
Is over there where it's really organized and
there's a
trimmed.
spectrum, and we
Yeah.
could. talk
Yeah, I
about
would
From-
love to know more about that spectrum. So maybe.
from a timing standpoint, if we're looking for a spring park tour, I would think we'd probably want to do this kind of preemptive meeting not too far in advance of that, so it's fresh, so we can
Yeah.
talk in a board meeting. Here's what we could do, and then the next month or the next meeting's the tour.
I have a
whatnot.
question.
Yeah.
What would be a timeline for this, or are we ones making that now?
Well, I think the timeline of actually implementing.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, so if we did a tour in spring, it would likely be a fall implementation
Because-
at a reasonable scale
Next budget year.
or next budget year, depending on what we're talking about.
I don't know what's realistic, but here's my thought is right now the parks are looking the way they look.
They look.
In the spring, it depends when you go in the spring, you're not getting the look. So I garden regularly. And so it's what it looks now does not look like the way it looks in. So right
Sure.
now is an ideal time if I
We
went
can
for Saturday.
certainly.
I don't think about budgeting, but as far as looks goes, it's time.
They're all at camp for 2 more.
I mean, you
Yeah.
can go earlier, or you can, I don't know if you still have your intern go take care of this.
Oh, she's
Oh.
gone. Or within a day or two,
Okay, we
she's
need
gone.
to get to-
I
I
get
have a
it.
buckthorn question, because I'm not aware that we have that much. Do we have a lot of buckthorn? parks?
I mean, the truth is that the majority of our buckthorn at this point is on property lines. And I think we've talked about it in some different meetings about the challenges with property lines and different feelings
We abut up against
about other,
someone.
yes.
Is there some there for?
There
like-
was, this whole property line was buckthorn. Luckily, what happens is when we have these situations, I typically will knock on the neighbor's door and say, your neighbor asked us to remove buckthorn. If I remove it, it's going to change if they're both in agreement, then it's easy.
Okay.
Problem is that truthfully, not everybody
Oh, I see.
wants
So-
to see it gone. They don't understand the impacts of it and you take it down and now suddenly their view has changed and they're upset with us. And
So yeah, right now it sounds like our buckthorn issues, like the buckthorn that remains are on property lines and some people may not want it removed. right?
correct. yeah.
Okay, okay.
And I think similar to how the village,
Yeah, the
we'd have to
visual.
have to do it at scale, we would need to have probably a plan for,
Like planning
Plan-
something in
yeah,
its place.
yeah.
Okay, okay. That, I understand that. All right,
Unfortunately, good.
I
Yeah.
know.
That's why a lot of people don't want it.
That's
So
a
it's very
good buy. They quit
controversial.
growing, but they're terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, the village has a whole bunch down the,
Yeah, yeah.
and so
Down
they're going to be
Green Bay.
conducting,
Yeah.
community meetings about whether the Friends of Green Bay Trail had a big problem when they start removing it. And then it takes a while for new things to grow up, but it will eventually.
Yeah.
Like, for example, what they did, their
They did
restoration,
plant those evergreens.
but
yeah,
it takes a long time for
Okay.
that to happen. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But that, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I don't know if we have time to put a parks tour in the next 2 weeks because we're trying to finish up some stuff, but maybe, yeah, I don't know if we'll get it in fall.
I
we'll
think
work on that.
Meg, I'd like to see you take some pictures of all these now. But like,
I
okay,
can
I
take
think,
some pictures. and-
I'll take
I
pictures.
hear you on what the spring looks like, but I do think that we probably, we probably can have a good description of
Yep.
what does this mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And figure out which
We-
park means, like,
we could,
Would we want to add, do we propose adding
Yeah.
something?
we could take,
I
we could,
do adjust, but we do have a drone,
there you go.
guy we use for a lot. You've seen
Oh,
him
yeah.
out there doing a lot of things. We could actually have him at this fall, go
Yep.
over some of those. Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we're good with not having to,
But
Yeah.
if we'll just have to, I'll find money, right, John?
we can
Yeah.
get the
Um,
footage now and have the discussion whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially
okay.
when Spring is.
That works.
And now he's actually collecting data at the beach right now. He goes 6 times a summer and is drone how much parking is available.
Just,
Beach when it's.
Yes.
Yeah.
So cool.
What?
He's moving.
Oh, gosh, he's moving. Maybe we'll find
Maybe we
someone
can leave the
else.
drone
I know
here.
someone else too, so.
Are we?
You have to have a certain license to do this, but I do know someone else. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, look, I think
Yeah.
I think the key here is
Says that.
it's ongoing.
Cool.
I like the direction. It gives me I like the idea about, category.
Really cool.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
for park-
I
For
care
park-
about this a lot.
for park-
I care about it all a
Gaming.
lot.
And I think the right word.
So,
park,
thinking I might call you.
Forestry stratification.
Right, that gives us a lot of
Yeah.
direction. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just knowing what we're thinking was we're like, do we have to budget anything this year?
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything budgeting this year. It's going to be planning and then possibly budgeting for next year.
Huge
Yeah.
greenhouse investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And look, all five of us have consistently said, what we have is awesome. So
Yeah.
we're making incremental changes
Yep.
to incredibly impressive portfolio.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Great.
Anything else? Okay. Next is John about financial sustainability and transparency. So,
All right. Thank you, Lisa. And just a warning, I have a few more slides than Kyle had, but a lot of them are supplemental and mainly on the tax levy. So if we don't have any major questions on that, we'll go through those rather quickly here. So as far as our financial sustainability and transparency priority goals or recommended actions here. So first here, completing an annual evaluation of district offerings, including categories of service. So you'll recall that typically in September, we'll come to the board with our annual review of the categories of service document, which really serves as the foundation for our budget document. So we did last talk about that in September of 25. So we'll be having that discussion soon. Developing tools to better communicate district wait lists and improve transparency. Transparency. So think about things like Children's Circle, especially. There's a very high demand for those programs. And there are wait lists that, Molly and Bobby specifically have been kind of really attacking and really trying to make sure that we improve transparency there and really come up with more efficient and better methods to kind of reduce gaps and things of that nature, which they've done a fantastic job at. We actually did talk about the property and parkland acquisition and development plan during Kyle's discussion there. Maintaining a 50% or less ratio of property taxes to total revenue. So this is a critical goal for us, and really the intent here is to make sure that we're not reliant on a capped revenue source, which is obviously our property tax levy, which is capped at CPI, the lesser of CPI, or 5%. Continue to actively pursue alternative funding sources, grants, donations. Obviously, we had a successful referendum. We've been very successful with grants over the course of the years, hoping to keep that going with our Friends Park OSLAD application. And exploring alternatives to contractor splits where appropriate. So this is essentially our share of the contractual programs that are being executed here at the district. On behalf of the district and using our facilities and land. So with that, is there any board actions to add to this priority goal specifically? And
Wait, I'll look at Jackie. Something's coming.
No question.
All right.
And this is really the one I want to make sure that we kind of talk through is as we mentioned that, we want to maintain a 50% or less ratio, but still recognize that property taxes is a significant source of our funding. And so it's been past practice, at least Lisa's been here and certainly since I've been here, that we do levy to the PTEL cap for our operating levy. So
Yeah, just tell us what PTEL is. I'm
so
sorry.
that's and we do have supplemental slides to go over that, but
Okay.
PTEL is the property tax extension limitation law, which basically says Glencoe Park District has, say, for simplicity purposes, we have $1 million levy. If we have a 2.9% increase in CPI, no matter what the following year, the most we can get is, $1,029,000.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's always been our approach to make sure that we capture that full amount and
Right.
when we have to levy to get that amount. And where sometimes confusion will come into play is with that PTEL, it says we can't get more than 2.9% the following year or 29,000, except for new property. So think of Forest Edge right now, they're building that whole new subdivision. And it's a matter of them kind of paying into the district for the infrastructure and what's already established here. So, there is potential that even though we have a 2.9% cap, we will receive, rather than 29,000, we could receive 50,000 because, it's those folks that are built in the larger new property years.
And a reminder that just because, let's say there's no new property here, you'll get $29,000 extra. If there's 29 houses, or I shouldn't say that, not everyone's property tax will go up by 2.9%. If the value of your home relative to your peers goes up a lot, you may go up 5% and your peers may go up 1%. So it's not that. But I'll go back out here and give you just some history. In my 8 years of being here, while many members of the community have complained about taxes, not a single member has shown up here to ever talk about it. Nor does anyone have a justification, I think, from the Park District, because we historically tend to not have tax raising items come up. Like the referendum was
Keeping it.
zero bond related
Right.
debt tax impact. Our taxes do go up. We're not building a new library. We're not building a new golf course. We're not investing as much in our schools. And so I think the strategy works. And I think it works until the community says no.
Yeah, and Commissioner Covey, the slide here just kind of illustrates your point.
Yeah.
So this is two homeowners, A and B. In the first year, levy year 24, in this example on the right, they had the same assessor's fair market value. And then there's, the various factors that are put on here to get to the EAV. So there's an equalization factor and things of that nature. And then we apply our tax rate. We received $100 that year. The following year went up 3.4% for us. However, homeowner A had an increase in their fair market value, which is done, in a reassessment year, a triennial reassessment. So in this example, homeowner A's taxes went up, significantly here, whereas homeowner B actually had a decrease in taxes,
Even though
whereas
their value
Glencoe Park
also-
District, correct.
Right, their house value went from 136 to 140, but their taxes went from $50 to 47.
Exactly. Yep. So it's all function of
End of the day,
the assessment of your home. So that's where you might have difficulty in the community when people see that their taxes have gone up, significantly. And it really does have to do more with their individual situation. And the reality is when there's
Right.
appeals and things of that nature, you're really just shifting the cost of that to your neighbors because we're ultimately still going to get the $3.40 for that year. So that's how it works. And just one other note to add on the new property. It's imperative that we levy for that new property. If we don't levy enough for that new property, then we will not get it that initial year. And not only is it the initial year, but it's the compounding effect, which can really be significant. So it's one of those where you want to make sure you capture that new property. And that's why historically we might come in November and say, hey, operating levy increase of 6-7%, which doesn't feel great or doesn't sound great. But in reality, it's going to be this year, it'll be 2.9%. And then whatever the new property is. So we're going to probably levy in the 8% range just to give us cushion for Forest Edge. We want to make sure that we capture that first year.
Reverse state you're talking about?
Yeah. Yep.
Correct.
All that property's been sold already, hasn't it? So isn't that already count?
No, once it's actually being,
Occupied?
yeah.
It has to be
occupied.
occupied?
Yeah.
Are they developers that have purchased in our building? Is
Yeah,
that-
I believe it's a developer purchased the 29 lots and then they're selling them
Okay.
individually.
Okay.
That's
Um,
correct.
So it is going to be a nice increase to our operating levy when that is complete. But again, we want to make
I
sure
don't
that
foresee that happening I don't know. I don't, in the future, I don't think we have a lot of massive properties that
correct,
will
agree.
split up.
So that's why we really, and that's where you'll see a lot of those like eye-popping headlines for municipalities raising taxes 20% or because some municipalities, some districts have to ask for 25% levy increases. and that has to do with TIFs. We don't have TIFs within our community, but communities that have TIFs, when that TIF expires, that all becomes new property, and that's a huge
Oh, I've seen that in North.
I don't know what it's at.
tax increment financing district. So you
did read up
basically
on that.
block off a portion of the community, and that's, you're not collecting taxes on it at all. It all goes only to that TIF district for redevelopment. And then when the TIF ends, all that new value is released into the tax base. So you have to levy a huge percentage just to
Grab
capture
that
that. So it's that TIF scenario though is kind of similar to what we're
But even
facing now
so-
with Forest Edge.
Like still in Glencoe, I have not.
Yeah.
I have not seen the constituents come together in a way that says what we're doing is incorrect. So I am, up, here comes 7%.
And this could have something.
100% of your fund.
They also value what we're giving them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In our surveys, everything, they like what we're providing. They want that high quality,
And they feel like like I just told you today, the
Great
camp
value.
is, she's like, great value of our camps. for
Right.
the-
So
know,
you can't
services.
have that if we go lower on the levy, you're not getting, we won't be able to reinvest, keep on reinvesting like we are.
Yeah.
So that's really the priority, because community wants this level of service.
Yep.
We have to provide it, but we can't provide it unless we levy that.
Absolutely. And going to the,
This strategy, because like at the end of the day, and I don't mean to interject, I just keep thinking about this. It's been working and it does, it serves us very well. And
It's
I,
the max that we can go.
yeah, like it, unless there is an alternative strategy, which I'm not 100% sure there is one, I wouldn't want to change it.
There is an alternative strategy. The
Which
alternative
is-
strategy is to not raise taxes.
Yeah.
and
That-
Commissioner,
Capture all the
But that-
revenue and then
Right,
lower our
and-
quality of service.
Let me rephrase, even, but in an alternative chat that meets the same goals, objectives and services that we provide.
There's not.
There's no way to do it.
Exactly.
and Commissioner Covey, you say the maximum, and you're correct. It is the maximum. I think that word just doesn't sound right to a lot of folks, but we got to keep in mind that that's the maximum under PTEL. So we're really just asking for CPI, which in reality, our expenses are still outpacing CPI. Our
Yeah.
expenses.
To your point, the other thing to do, which we have said as a board that we don't want to do, although you all can revisit it, is you can raise fees and make it so that we become a fee-based entity versus a tax-based entity. So you can raise children's circle, beach, this, that. Now you have the challenge of people will walk away, so you have supply and demand.
Yeah.
But that is a strategy. You can say there's no more free spring egg hunt. It's $10. The mud run is now $60. The Halloween boo bash is now $20. So you can offset your taxes that everyone contributes to individual fees, which we haven't said we're doing.
Oh, and I have to say that we have a nice balance. So
Yeah, you have a phenomenal
50%,
balance.
right?
Right.
50 or 55% of our,
So 50 is what the comprehensive plan says. We're below that.
Yeah,
We're
we're
at
below
a
that.
better range of about mid-30s typically.
Yeah.
But that is another,
Right. It's a lever we can use if.
I hope we
We
don't.
need-
but then you
right,
take
it's-
away from
Yeah,
the-
like,
what we're,
families
what we're
would be
here for.
impacted
Uh,
most.
It's like charging people to walk, like, not that you do this, it's with charging the librarian patrons $10 a book.
Yeah.
Which
Got
the
it.
idea here is society pays for it.
And you do all have the ability to change that when we review the categories of service. That's the intent there. And if you remember correctly, the subsidized portion of it is our parks,
Right.
our 4th of July event. That's 100% subsidized. That's how we lay it out in our categories. of
And
service.
I just think we've all, and I think we're all saying the same thing. We know what our community values. They want very high service. To Michael's point, they haven't come in to say, I don't like the tax situation. And so for me, I don't know why we would change it.
Yep.
Right.
Does everybody agree?
Right.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay.
As we get into our final category here, a dynamic and inclusive workplace. So the recommended actions here, establish educational training opportunities and guidelines for staff at all district levels. Hosting all district team meetings twice a year. We do one typically in July and another one in November, might be in October this year. Analyzing the effectiveness of current communication efforts and implement changes. So you